Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a story that is honestly just absolutely epic. We are diving into a vibrant, emotionally resonant narrative that's designed to bridge the gap between divine realms and our own earthly experiences. It's packed with vivid descriptions and profound spiritual symbolism, so let's get right into it. Think about this for a second. What actually drives millions of people, literally millions, to travel to the top of 7 sacred hills just to chant a single name? It's a huge mystery, right? It hooks you right from the start. We were talking about an incredible modern-day scale of devotion here. Every single year, massive waves of devotees make this arduous, passionate journey to the sacred Tirumala hills. They come with immense faith. But what is the story that anchors all this devotion? Today, we are going to map out the narrative blueprint that fuels this massive spiritual movement and explore the miracles experienced by sincere worshippers. All right, let's start with Section 1, Descent from the Heavens, a Cosmic Catalyst. So our story actually begins way up in Vaikuntha. This is the celestial, perfectly spiritual abode of Lord Vishnu. Picture this, a realm of infinite peace, absolute tranquility, completely untouched by the kind of messy, everyday struggles you and I deal with. It is the ultimate spiritual destination. But for our story to actually take off, this perfection has to be willingly left behind. Here's the catch. On one side, you've got this flawless, infinite celestial realm of Vaikuntha. And on the other, well, you have our earthly realm, which is frankly in desperate need of some human welfare. So why would a divine being willingly leave absolute paradise? The motive is actually incredibly clear. Lord Vishnu steps down to earth specifically for the welfare of humanity. It is an intentional sacrifice of perfect peace, all for the sake of human salvation, hope, and well-being. Moving right along into Section 2, Srinivasa and the 7 Hills, an earthly incarnation. This decision sets off a pretty wild, transformative chain of events. First, Goddess Lakshmi actually leaves Vaikuntha, and because of that cosmic departure, Lord Vishnu follows, descending right down to earth. This leads directly into a grueling era of intense penance performed right there on the 7 hills of Tirumala. Through all that immense spiritual discipline and deep meditation, we hit the 4th era, his ultimate transformation into the earthly incarnation we know as Srinivasa. It is such a brilliant narrative arc. We don't just get a deity popping up instantly. We see a sequence of loss, a search, immense struggle through penance, and finally, this massive transformation. Which brings us to Section 3, a celestial romance and wedding, earthly love. Now, the story takes a really beautiful turning point here. Srinivasa, our divine incarnation, meets the beautiful Princess Padmavati, and they fall deeply in love. This blossoming romance carries the divine intention of a grand, universal marriage ceremony. It's such a great detail because it brings the gods down to a profoundly human emotional level. I mean, they experience romance, they fall in love, it just makes the divine so incredibly relatable to us. And that sets up Section 4, the divine debt, funding a grand union. So here is a fun question for you. How exactly do you fund the most magnificent wedding in the universe? It turns out, even deities have to deal with event planning logistics. You've got the ultimate divine groom and a beautiful royal bride, but throwing a wedding of this unimaginable, cosmic magnitude, yeah, that requires some serious financial resources. The solution? One massive loan. Seriously. To pay for this grand union, Srinivasa actually takes out a sacred loan from Kubera, who is essentially the cosmic treasurer. I absolutely love this grounding detail, a divine being taking on earthly debt to celebrate love and marriage. It adds such a fascinating layer of spiritual symbolism to the whole story, framing the deity as someone who literally understands the burdens, the debts, and the everyday obligations of human life. Now let's jump into Section 5, Tirumala, the sacred destination, faith and miracles. Govinda, Govinda. I want you to just imagine the sound of that continuous chanting for a moment. Try to picture the cinematic echo of ancient temple bells ringing out across those 7 hills. You've got these meticulous sacred rituals happening, completely surrounded by the immense, breathtaking natural beauty of Tirumala. That chant, it's the heartbeat of the entire environment. It echoes the massive collective faith of the millions of devotees who make this physical and spiritual pilgrimage to this very day. But what are they actually looking for when they arrive at the hills? Well, they come seeking very specific blessings meant for sincere worshippers. We're talking prosperity, health, and ultimately, spiritual liberation. And these aren't just empty wishes. There are tangible miracles experienced by sincere worshippers who bring their unwavering faith to the temple. They come to witness the divine presence of Lord Venkateshwara and seek these real, life-altering blessings.
Let's actually break down how this spiritual transaction works. It all starts with step 1, a foundational mindset, holding unwavering faith in Lord Venkateshwara. When you do that, step 2 is receiving divine hope and protection in response. And that leads directly into step 3, achieving true abundance and inner peace. It highlights a really beautiful progression, telling us that unwavering faith isn't just some passive feeling, it's an active step that directly unlocks profound inner peace, divine protection, and true abundance.
So that brings us to our final thought for this explainer. In a world of constant change, and let's face it, our world changes fast, what infinite returns might unwavering faith bring you? This whole story of Lord Venkateshwara Swami, from the perfect heights of Vaikuntha all the way down to taking out an earthly debt for a grand wedding on the 7 hills, is ultimately a narrative about hope. It shows us a universe where divine forces are deeply and actively invested in human welfare. It really makes you reflect on the power of your own beliefs, the debts we all carry, and what profound peace we might actually find when we truly commit to our faith. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and as always, keep exploring.